Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another video on me talking about specific red light treatment options or red light therapy options. And today we're going to talk about red light therapy and its control or its ability to help control blood glucose levels. Now, if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or someone that just has very variable blood glucose levels, if you have a poor diet, your blood glucose levels probably go up and down like that. And so it's important that we get a good control of blood glucose levels, because one of the, if you look at the blue zones, the areas where people live the longest and the healthiest lives, one of the characteristics of that is controlled blood glucose levels, controlled insulin levels. And so the more of a handle we can get on that, the better it is for our overall health. And the better it is for your energy levels, the better it is for how you feel. And so this study, and I'm going to say right off the bat, was done on rats. Okay, so does that mean we can just chuck it to one side? We don't need to pay any attention to it? No, we still pay attention to it because it's still useful. I'm not saying you get the direct results that the rats got. You would get, perhaps not. But the physiological mechanisms within the rats that they were testing happen within us. But there are various differences. But again, this is red light, and the red light's been tested tested solidly since the 70s. And we know that there are no side effects. So it's not like a pharmacological thing where they test it on rats or whatever, and then they test it on humans, and there's all sorts of side effects on humans. There are no side effects with the red light. And so you are safe. But what we can extrapolate from these tests on rats is that there are potentially some magnificent benefits by using red light to control blood sugar levels. Now, what I often say to people when they want to control their blood sugar levels is just do 20 squats. If you are concerned about your blood sugar levels after a certain meal, do 20 squats, 40 squats. Because what that does is it opens up a receptor, or it turns on a receptor that sucks the blood sugar into your cells in order to create glycogen, which is basically how you store the sugar as muscular glycogen. But what they have found with red light is that if you shine red light on big muscles, that actually the red light increases the muscular glycogen or muscle glycogen synthesis. And therefore, what it does, independent of exercise, is it does the same thing really as exercise. It increases the amount of uptake of blood sugar levels, of blood sugar into the cells in order to create muscle glycogen. Now, for me, as you know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physiologist, but for me that is very, very promising, because I have a diabetic in my family. Probably, I did have two, but now I've only got one, unfortunately. And so for me, this stuff is hugely important, and it's also important for me because if you have diabetes running in your family, it means that your risk of diabetes is higher. If you eat poorly, it means your risk of diabetes is higher. Now, I'm not saying you're just going to eat whatever crap you want and therefore you can just shine some red light on you and it'll fix it all, because it won't. But it's very, very promising for people that are very struggling with their diabetes, or they're struggling with pre-diabetes, or they're overweight, etc. Because what we can do now is, what we can say to people is potentially that red light therapy is a mechanism that might help stabilize and control your blood sugar levels. And we can guess at the possible mechanism because there is during this study, the rat study again, what they did was they found a correlation, or a negative correlation. So as blood sugar, as muscle glycogen went up, blood glucose went down. And so they've hypothesized that because blood glucose was down and muscle glycogen was up, that the red light helped synthesize muscle glycogen, which is not only a positive thing for diabetics, pre-diabetics, or people with poor blood glucose control, but in terms of performance-related issues, you could start to hypothesize that, okay, if you are in a sport where you can have short rest periods, and you want to optimize the muscle glycogen replenishment, then shining red light on specific muscles will optimize will optimize that muscle glycogen replenishment. Now that's a different story altogether, but it is one that needs looking at, definitely. So as always, I will post the article below. I will post the abstract to the article below, and you can read it. But if you are someone with pre-diabetes, diabetes, or has poor blood sugar control, and you want to feel slightly more stable throughout the day, you don't want these big peaks and troughs, then red light therapy might be something that you can look at. And these weren't long, and the great thing about red light therapy is they're not long treatments. The treatment times here were 10 joules 10 joules per centimeter square. All right, so if you're looking at small areas, then that could be as little as 60 seconds, depending on the light that you use, obviously. But it could be as little as 60 seconds. And that's the great thing about it. You could actually positively affect your health by using red light therapy for as little as 60, 90, 120, 180, 240 seconds if you're looking for bigger body area. And so this is what I mean about yesterday. I talked about red light therapy versus TENS, the pads that you stick on and get electrical nerve stimulation, and how red light was better, showed significantly better results than the TENS. I've showed blood sugar control today. I've showed performance improvements. Red light therapy is amazing. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you want to ask me any questions, because I'm here to help. I'm here to actually, no pun intended, but shine a light on it. Because these are things that doesn't involve pharmacological aids. These are things that is just literally a specific wavelength of light that your body loves, and parts of your body actually require in order to function optimally. But because we are forever covered in clothes, we live behind windows that filter out specific wavelengths of light, we're not getting what we need. And therefore we're not actually optimizing ourselves in any way. And therefore there are options out there to help optimize you. But it's just getting people aware of it. So if you get the chance, please like the video, please share the video with friends that you might think could benefit from it. So, final conclusion, red light therapy or photobiomodulation, LLT, laser therapy, whatever you want to call it, has been shown to be can play a very important role in the control of blood glucose. And they think that the mechanism will be through increased glycogen synthesis in the muscles. So if you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, you have poor blood sugar control, then red light could be a therapy which will help you. Have a great day. Stay healthy.